So, first of all, I will show you a simple timetable, what's going to happen in upcoming months, and also during the PQ. Then I will briefly talk about the whole area, what's in there, what we can use, what are the buildings. Then I will talk about ECR, and the last one is a student exhibition. Here is a timetable. Please raise your hand if there is anybody who didn't read Organizational Manual number 1. Is there any of you who didn't receive it, didn't read it? Oh, okay, so just one. All the rest read the organization. That's awesome. So this is basically the stuff you have already in there. So until the end of this month, we will provide you with the detailed plans of the venue, where the electricity will be, where the water will be, if you are in a market area, all the dimensions or the sketches and stuff like that. Until 31st of August, we kindly ask you to send us the detailed plans and sketches of your exhibitions. 15th of December, we're going to release a second organizational manual, which will be much more detailed than the first one. We're going to send there recommended companies which you can use for transportation, audiovisual equipment, and stuff like that. 31st of March, we're going to provide you with the insurance details, when the insurance starts from our side, when it finished from our side, estimated prices and stuff like that. And then we move to beginning of PQ. We're going to start the installation on 5th of June at 8 a.m. And you have to be finished on 7th of June at 5 p.m. because after that there is like an opening. So that's the deadline for you. Exceptions can be made if your exhibition is like super complicated or something like that. We can discuss and negotiate to start of the installation maybe earlier before the 5th. Then there is a PQ, and on 18, which is the last day of PQ, 7 p.m., we're gonna start dismantling everything, and we should be gone until 20th of June, 7 p.m. I think that can't be extended, so if you build something huge and you will not be sure that you can demolish it in 2 days, just like try to manage to do it. Okay, we moved to Prague market area from Trade Fair Palace, which brings a lot of opportunities, but also it's a much smaller venue, which I will get to when I will be talking about ECR. But the biggest upgrade for me is, I call it a city in a city, because it has its own walls and it has its own infrastructure, let's say. You can find various stuff in here, which are really handy during the PQ. There is there's like a huge IT and electronic store just nearby. Yeah. We're gonna make a partnership with them, so there might be some discount for all of you if you're gonna use that store. It's like the biggest one in the country, so regarding, I don't know, IT and electronic stuff, you can get everything in there. Also, there are two, maybe more, hardware stores where you can buy nails, drills, everything you need. There is a small one over there and big one over there. Drugstore for any, I don't know, cleaning stuff and stuff like that. There's a lot of groceries, there's cafes, there's restaurants. We're gonna make some, we're gonna hire some cafes and restaurants as well. There is a food truck zone, lots of stuff. I think really, it's really handy to have it here, like, I don't know, 2 minutes walking distance. Also, the company who runs this whole area, they have their own spedition company. Actually, it's the same one for you who've been on PQ 2019. It's the same spedition company. It's called Backspedition. The only thing is that I heard from some of you that the prices were kind of high, so we try to organize it differently. So you don't need to hire the staff for like 1 hour or something. Maybe we can do like 6 exhibitions. They all gonna need the same thing, so they can like organize themselves. We can hire it for longer term. So if you divided the price, maybe it can be cheaper. We try to do something like so it will be cheaper for you. I think that's it for the Prague market, because you've been here already 2 or 3 days, so you visited yourself. Yeah. Can you see it somehow, because it's kind of white on a white wall. So this is a map of the whole area. Right now we are. I will point it like. Right now we are in this. In this hall, it's hall number 13, which also gonna be like the biggest space for exhibition of countries and regions. The student exhibition will be over here in the market, where the Ukrainian festival has been happening yesterday, and I think you were there with Mr. Toshovsky already today, and we will take you there at the afternoon. Here are they call it corsos, so this is west one and east one, or maybe the other way around, doesn't matter. We're gonna use them as well. It's a place for the performances, navigation systems and stuff like that. There will be lots of stuff happening in there. Hall number 17, we're gonna go there as well. It's the one just next to us. It's another venue for ECR. Then here is what we call it in Czech skleněnka. It's like a glass hall, which will be like the main brain of PQ. There'll be accreditation center, info point, like meeting point. So everyone who comes to PQ will go through this building. Then, sorry, I'm too small, so I have to point with this one. This is called Jatka 78. It's a black box theater where the PQ Talks is going to be happening. They also have a cafe, so it's another meeting point. We probably will have like a outdoor theater next to it. Sorry, not outdoor theater, outdoor cinema. And we're also thinking about outdoor stage next to the student exhibition, but this is not decided yet if it's going to be there or not. Prague market area has several entrances. For the public, if you come by a tram or something, you probably already came through this one. There is another one on the top, but for the transportation purposes, it's the entrance over there, so all the trucks probably gonna go through and navigate through the streets. There is a huge parking lot which we're gonna use. So when your exhibitions come, they can park in there for several days. I'm not sure if for the whole PQ, probably not, but for the time of installation, you can move your vehicles in there. Okay, and that's it that's everything for the Prague market. So ECR, and now this is like a most important and new information for you, how the exhibitions will be located to the venues. Very soon, I think probably next week, Magdalena Brožíková will send you an email, and you have the time until 31st of May to write down 4 preferences for your exhibition. After the deadline, we're gonna go through the preferences, and we will try as much as we can to place you to your preference space, but we will curate it a little bit. In a second, I will open the maps from our architect, so you will see where the exhibitions should be located. Dimensions, as you received in organizational manual, number 1, dimensions of the exhibitions should be 4 to 5 meters in this hall and in the hall number 11. Hall number 17 is totally different, you're gonna see, because it has lower ceiling, as stairs, there are some pillars. So it's more complicated space, but maybe for some of you, more interesting space. And also between the exhibitions, there will be no dividing walls. So you will be just next to, and there will be no space between the exhibitions, especially in this one. So it will be like one one line of exhibition and then the other one, no walls in between. So I will show you. So this is hall. Oh yeah, here we are. So this is the hall number 13. I'm standing just over there. This is the main entrance, and this is how the exhibitions will be placed. There are 2 other rooms just behind this wall. I will show them to you as well at the afternoon after we came back from the tour. And as you can see, it is 4 by 5 meters. So one line of exhibition, the other one, and 2 room over there. This is the hall number 11, same dimensions. We will go there as well. It's pretty similar, but it's just smaller version of this one. Oh yeah, and that's the hall number 17, the most complicated, but for me most interesting place. It has 2 floors. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, this is the ground floor, and you can see the dimensions are totally different. Don't worry, but we will send you all those plans so you can see it yourself and decide of your preferred space. I think these are 3 meters to 7 meters. These are totally different. It's a 40 meters place, and if you go up the stairs, there is no elevator, which is important to say. I just want to highlight there is no elevator, and the stairs is quite narrow. So think about it. You get to the first floor, where are several other 3 meters to 7 meters big spaces, and then there is a large space for like a cooperative. I don't know if you have like small exhibition and you don't mind to be with others. This is the space which we're gonna use. So that's for the ECR exhibitions. Okay, student exhibition now. So the biggest change from PQ 2019 is that we moved the student exhibition to the outdoors, which I know is kind of challenging, but as I said at the beginning, we are struggling with venues, and we also think it's kind of interesting challenge, and it's going to change the exhibition quite a bit, I think. So it will be happening in a main square area. It's called Zeleninový, like a green market area, let's say. And we know that you're gonna struggle with rain, with the sunlight, with the wind, with all those elements. So your exhibitions need to sustain them, but we will try to help you as much as possible. We are thinking about covering part of the square with like a sails or something. So at least against the sunlight, it can help a bit, but be ready that your exhibition need to sustain all those elements. It will be organized in some kind of clusters. We don't know the shape of the cluster. We will define it after we're gonna see all the exhibitions sketches at the August when you send them to us. But it will be square or round or circle or whatever. So it's easy for us to get to you with electricity and water and stuff like that. With the ECR exhibitions, you need to be really strict with the dimensions because we really don't have enough space. With the student exhibition, we told you that it's supposed to be 25 square meters. But again, exceptions can be made because it's outside. The square is huge, so we can discuss it and negotiate it. But please let us know. Don't just like come with an exhibition which is 150 meters big or something. Also, I didn't write it here, but there are cobblestones. The floor is not entirely flat. So, for example, if you bring a container with you, think about that you need to make it even with some pilots or something. And yeah, we're gonna go there, and you can ask me questions when we go there. About the companies we're gonna use, we don't know them now, but we will provide you with a list of the companies latest on the 15th of December of this year, with an organizational manual number 2. But if you are struggling and you need to contact somebody right now, just write me an email. I already talked with some of you about scaffoldings and stuff like that. We can give you directions to, I don't know, audiovisual equipment, scaffolding companies and stuff like that, even before, so you will know it for your budget purposes, if the December is too late for you. So I think that's for student exhibition, and I think that's all from me. So now is time for you to ask some questions regarding all that stuff. We have like 30 minutes, so I think we can make it. Oh, there was somebody before you, sorry.
Hello, thank you very much. So I have quite a few questions for the student space. Does this organizing principle of no dividing walls or partitions or apply also to the outdoor student exhibition space?
Yeah, there will be no dividing walls built by us outside.
But they could be built some sort of, I don't know, transparent or semi-transparent or whatever other partitions built by the exhibitions?
I think I will just ask Markéta if it's okay. I will ask it for the microphone for the recording. There is a question if the student exhibition, if they themselves build some kind of dividing walls, if they can do it.
You mean like an individual exhibition comes up with walls?
Well, walls is a very sort of harsh word, especially dividing walls, you know, but I mean like some sort of partition. You think, or skeletal partition, because you talked about scaffolding, so I'm just wondering, trying to visualize this, you know, so we could do it as individual installations that they would have also.
The idea is that these are going to be individual installations. We already saw many of them coming in even sketches and drawings in such other ways. And they're so different from each other that sometimes we need to give it a little bit of space to breathe. And building walls in between them would actually not really help. But if the question is that maybe you have 3 countries that want to create something together and put dividing walls between themselves, and you manage to make that kind of agreement among yourselves, we won't stop you if it's you creating that. We would like to say that this time, this is new, we will try to curate things based on what you like in terms of the space, but also what fits next to each other. And I'll give an example. Last time, we had an exhibition that was a turntable, and we were trying to be super democratic by saying, we will just randomly pick a number, and the number will be assigned to a space. Therefore, nobody has really any oversight, nobody has a hand in it, and nobody's making a decision about your space. It's given to a chance, and it's fair for everyone. Well, that backfired in a sense that when there was an exhibition, there was a turntable, and its all meaning was to see all these surrounding spaces. And they drew a space that was in the corner. We realized this is not the right way of going about it. So we're giving you 4 choices, and we will curate on top of that. And that goes the same way for the student exhibition. So if your student exhibition needs to breathe, we'll try to figure it out. If your exhibition is a ginormous column, we'll try to figure out where we place it. So you will have to put some trust onto our hands that we'll do the best we can. His as well.
Okay.
No way.
Okay.
Does this answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. Can I just add a sort of second very quick question?
Sure, go ahead.
So you talked about the student exhibitions organized in clusters. So I'm thinking, so the movement, the circulation would be like on the periphery of this, on the outside, or are you seeing that in between the individual student installations, there will be some movement and pathways, or what about that?
Yeah, my idea is that the people will work around a cluster, but this is not decided yet. Actually, the decision that it will be organized in clusters, I was kind of pushing it because it will be for me much easier to make just one corridor of electricity, internet wire, and everything, and to deliver it to one cluster, and from the center of the cluster to deliver it to each exhibition. But the shape of the cluster, or how it will look on the square, exactly as Markéta said, will be really defined by the shape of all the exhibitions. So I think it's gonna be like that. You will walk around a cluster, but I can't say that it will be like that for 100%. I think there was a whatever.
Thank you. Just two quick
Can I just add a little bit too? I'm sorry, Marina. I just wanted to add, it's also up to you. You will help us tremendously. If your descriptions of your projects are not very lofty explanations of your philosophical idea, we need technical drawings. If we end up, or sketches, as if you're creating a design somebody's going to build, that's what we need. Oftentimes we receive lots of texts that are beautiful to read, but we have absolutely no clue what it's going to look like. Please don't do that, please. Thank you.
Practical questions. The floors in Hall 17 and Hall 11, are they pretty flat, or do they also need to be taken care in terms of?
I think they're flat as this one, so sort of.
Okay.
You will see yourself.
All right. And the second one is, what about sound and the proximity of all the installations that you showed in here, for example? Are there any provisions made on that?
You mean like if we will provide you with sound equipment, or the sound limits, let's say?
Yeah, if the designs or if the entrances of the ECR have sound design or some sort of sound installation, will there be a provision for that so that they don't interfere? Because
yeah.
I see in the drawing that we are very close.
We are, yeah, you are right next to each other. We prefer headphones, if you're going to use headphones, because if you use, and the acoustic here is really not so great, so I'm afraid even if you have exhibition over there and you have sound, it will be still hearable around there. I don't know. I'm not sure if we are so strict that no sound is allowed, but...
But something will be communicated to that effect.
Yes, of course.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes, definitely. If we have too many exhibitions that require sound, we will need to organize you and give you some time slot so you can run the audio. But really, we prefer headphones or some, if you want to build a booth with soundproof, also possible. But yeah, just be mindful that these are really big halls.
Maggie? Okay. You need to raise your head like, hi.
I'll be very, very quick. So, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to the dividing walls, actually, question, because I totally agree with not having dividing walls, but it's not clear if you're asking us to not have dividing walls because of the way the layout of the exhibition is set, or if it's going to happen, or something similar like 2019 is going to happen, where everybody was some of us were preparing not to have dividing walls because that's a wonderful idea, and we arrived in an exhibition where 80% of the exhibitors were setting massive, thick, solid buildings inside the space, which was a surprise. So are you asking us to not include dividing walls in our exhibitions? Personally, I would beg you to ask us clearly to not include dividing walls. Thanks.
That's okay. I'm sorry. Oops. This is a question that keeps popping up all the time, and I think there's a build-up from the history of PQs, walls, no walls. I just want to say we had last symposium was called Porous Borders, and we said don't build walls last time. And there were countries that decided that they can't do it without the walls, so they built walls anyways. So we decided that, no matter what we say, there will be walls or there won't be walls. So I think there's a lot of that, yes, no, what do we do? I think the definition of dividing wall is a problem to start with. So let's not call it that. Let's just say if somebody needs to create a space that becomes more intimate, and you want an intimate experience inside of some space, and you need to, for that reason, cut it out of the space within which it sits, that's a definite yes, if there's a reason behind it. If you simply want to create dividing walls between exhibitions, you cannot do it without talking to your partnering countries. So that goes all on you. You have to figure that out. We will not be helping you with that because that opens all kinds of cans of worms that then would prolong everything. So in that aspect, I would say, please don't do that if you can avoid it. So I will go halfway, what you ask me. At the same time, I don't want to say, don't ever do it, because again, everything has a reason. It's like in scenography. You come up with some really brilliant idea, and we don't want to shut it down. So if there is a reason why you're doing it, and you're doing a cluster, which we asked last time, and we have noticed that it takes 8 years sometimes for the idea to really germinate, because all of a sudden we have lots of cluster applications. If you choose to do that, solve it with your neighbors. We are fine with that. We're really giving you freedom to do something that's expressing what you need to bring to us. But because the main theme is rare, and we're looking for what's rare in your area, the question is, can it really be that if you connect with neighboring countries?
Wow, such silence.
Sorry, I have a question about, or two questions about student exhibition, technical questions. Will there be internet?
Yes, there will be a Wi-Fi in the whole area. There will be 2 different Wi-Fis, like it's in here right now. Public Wi-Fi and a Wi-Fi for the team and for the curators and for the installation teams. But if you're gonna need a wired internet, there will be for you for a price, of course, because that's something we would not build if you wouldn't need it.
Yeah. The second question, will there be security? Like if you have expensive equipment, will there be security at night, or is there a place to store it? Or, I don't know.
Yeah, that's maybe what I forget to mention, that this whole area is open 24/7. So if you are outside, strangers can go there and walk around the exhibitions. For that, we probably gonna make some kind of like a fence on each side, which we close during the night. But don't worry, there will be a security personnel all the time, and we may and we're gonna hire extra people for the night. But if you have really expensive equipment which can be stored somewhere else, maybe it will be safer to put it out on the night and store it somewhere, like, I don't know, iPads and like small electronics, gold.
Could there be like a place where things could be locked up for everybody?
We didn't think about it until now, but maybe it's a good idea to implement something like that. Where are you pointing?
Actually, he was thinking about it. He did. We do have a possible space. There are storage spaces for things. We did talk about this, that this may come up. So I think we will resolve that, and there will be storage space for exhibitions. There are many questions like that.
Yeah, there will definitely be a storage space for exhibition, but not in like a not like a safe or something. There will be all the stuff. Like, for example, here behind this wall, there is a room where the exhibitions from this hall can store some stuff. But it's not like there will be, I don't know, building materials, maybe it's ladders and stuff like that. So it's not a place where you want to put your super expensive electronics, for example.
Hello. Thank you for this presentation and for organizing the symposium. We remember 2019 in June, it was scorching hot. We were in this big tent and we were sweating a lot. And it seems it's going to be the same thing in June 2023. You said there were elements we needed to mind. In addition to the heat, you mentioned wind and you mentioned rain. So do we understand that the elements we're going to use in the exhibitions need to be adapted to the weather? So no feather, for example, no cardboard, and all the elements need to be quite heavy or well fixed, because when there is wind in Prague, there is a strong wind. So it will remove everything. Are we on the same page?
Yes. If you mentioned it will be the same, with the difference that now we know it in advance. In the trade fair Paris, we were surprised like how hot is in the tent, and there was no ventilation, which they promised to deliver, and then there was a rain. Just forget it. It was horrible. We apologized for it a lot, but it was a problem of trade fair Paris. Here, yes, we know it's gonna be difficult because it's gonna be June. It can be scorching hot as 3 years ago. We gonna build there some kind of a tent or like a refreshment place only for the exhibition teams, which they can go there, take a refreshment. There will be shadow. There will be like the red water rain or something. We are not forgetting you. Don't worry. We will try to take care of you as best as we can, but we have the limits of the space. So that's why the square. And I think it will be interesting. I know it's challenging. And yes, it needs to be fixed against the wind. Of course, cardboard when it get wet, it's damaged and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I stress that it needs to sustain the elements.
Hi, I have 2 questions regarding dates. So the first question is the selected space after we send the 4 options will be after we send the technical drawings. So it means after August 31st. And my second question is, we read somewhere that the curatorial concept was going to be approved. This is going to happen like in a formal answer, or we can still developing this?
Sorry, what concept?
The curatorial concept that we have just sent some weeks ago. I don't know.
Oh yeah. No.
So the concepts, Markéta and Magdalena, they went through them, and if there's any problem, they will be in touch. But after the symposium, you will get all the info and the plans from Magdalena by email, and she will remind you all the dates for the choosing of your preferences and so on. So the first concept was for us to see where do you want to go. Markéta has seen them already, and you will get feedback very soon if there's anything problematic. And the second question? Till the end of May, because we will send you all information next week. And I think you don't need much more time to pick your preferences. But of course, if there's any problem, let us know. The one that you select for us? Yes. Yes. Till the end of May, send us your preferences. And then again, it will be processed for Markéta and our architect. And you are asking when you will get the confirmation of the space. That's the question. Okay, so Markéta.
We don't have a complete deadline for that because it takes a bit. And as I said, I think, and there will be an additional email because there are so many descriptions where we have no idea what you're intending to do. And without a clear idea what you're intending to do, if we assign a space, it could lead to a misunderstanding, and we don't want to get there. So I think we want to get a little bit more time for those additional questions in order to allocate the spaces correctly. And we'll be working on it with the architect to make sure that also his questions are answered, because maybe there'll be something that's not properly anchored. Maybe there'll be some questions somebody will want to drill into the floor, and you can't do that maybe, you know. So we just need to look at it in a very complex way and then get back to you. So please give us a little bit of time, because more time we have, more problems we can catch. So maybe we'll try till like last day of PQ year before, so maybe something like June 18th or something of that kind. Hopefully that would work for you as a date when we will try to get back to you with your exact slot. But if you're pressed for time because you have a certain schedule, I know, like for instance, United States have student teams working on exhibitions, and therefore they have to fit it with semesters. Please let us know about these kinds of things.
I have a question about the student exhibition. Is there a timetable, or is it possible to do something at night because we are outside, open air? If we would like to organize performances, for instance, we are not sure about that now, but it could be that we have the idea to work during the night or at 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'm afraid it won't be possible after 10 p.m. and before 6 or 7 a.m., which is like a police hours here. But if you, by night, you mean like 8 or 9 p.m., I think that's possible. But again, we need to discuss it with the others, so you don't disturb the other exhibitions. And also we are thinking about building a stage on that same area. I will put on over here, which will have some own schedule, like theater performances, concerts, and stuff like that. So we need to discuss it and negotiate it. How we are not saying no, but definitely not at 5 a.m. or something.
Okay.
When will we know if the stage is happening or not?
I think like 2 months. I think maybe. End of August. Okay, until end of August then.
Hi, I have 2 questions about the student exhibition as well. When it's accessible or until 10 p.m., I thought you said, do we have to light it out or isn't that necessary? Because it's accessible.
I think after 10 p.m. we're gonna close the area, or maybe some parts of the area, because then everybody can walk in and we can ask. I mean, like, you want a performance at 9:30, but your neighbor wants to leave and leave the exhibitions there, so we can't like close some and leave open others. We need to like close it whole and then let the security guards like take care of that. So I think, let's say until 10, but we didn't decide it yet. Because we're gonna put a bar in there, for example, so maybe we stay open until 12 or something like that, but it's not decided yet.
And we talked about sounds here in the market halls, but how would it be outside for the student exhibition?
I think it's pretty much the same, but not so strict. I think if you're gonna use the sound in your exhibition, and we will know it in advance, we can put you somewhere where it's not disturbing the others.
Thank you.
Air conditioning inside and ventilation. What about the halls inside? We didn't talk about that. Thanks.
Yeah, I know what you're asking. Yeah, I thought actually that this is the air condition. But it's heating. So don't worry. We will figure something out. It won't be like on last PQ. There won't be 50 degrees Celsius.
I have a question of light design, especially for this space. Are you going to use these lights? Are you going to keep them off? Are we going to be able to bring our own lights? And if so, can we hang them? And how?
Those lights need to stay in here. They're part of the building, which we are not so happy about it, but it is as it is. I think you can bring your own lighting for your own exhibition, but the hanging, I didn't ask for this particular hall. I asked for another one, but these constructions are not. I mean, like if you put some few lights, you can rig them in there, but it's not for rigging. So, and we don't gonna build any truss constructions and something like that. So you need to manage yourself how to hang the lights for your exhibition. But for the like navigation lights, let's say, I think we won't need them because it will be June. So from the morning to the closing of the hall, it will be like that. So we can turn those on or leave them off, but we're not gonna install any other lights in here.
Yeah, sorry, I have another question about the timeline because we're still slightly unclear on that. So we submit our space preferences by May, and Markéta was saying it's helpful to have sketches and drawings at that point because obviously we submit our final kind of design drawings by the end of August. So is that before or after we know our final space? That's what I'm not clear on. Are you still allocating the spaces at that point, and then we'd submit other final drawings once we know the final space?
I think Markéta didn't say that for the until end of the May when you will send the preferences that we need sketches, right? We need sketches at the end of August. Right now, you just send us your preferred space. You will, I don't know, not on, as I show you the pictures of the hall. You say my first option is number 13, the exhibition place number 13. Then 16, then I don't know, 25, etc.
And so then at the end of August, will we know will we do the sketches for a specific space, or will they still be kind of slightly speculative?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
So when we submit the drawings in August, will we know the space then, or will it still be kind of somewhat speculative?
Yeah. As Markéta said, she will try to do it until 18th of June.
Okay, got it, yeah.
What do you mean based on? Based on the sketches you already said. I mean, Markéta, can you clarify it one more time because this is maybe your area more than mine.
Okay, so I understand what you're asking. We read what you sent us for the first conceptual idea. I'm trying to be diplomatic here. Some of these ideas don't give us anything to imagine what you might be possibly trying to create. So that's the problem. The fact that you have to give us technical drawings later, that's fine, please do that. But if you are writing a description, which we cannot unpack in any way, shape, or form, because, and I will say this as it is, some countries will send in something that we call placeholder, just some sort of an empty text that says, we might do blah, 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 and we will do it. We take it because we are trying to get the countries in as much as possible, and we try to work with it. But we are a team. When you don't send us what we need, we cannot respond to you properly, and then you're impacting everybody else. So when we ask for a description, it's a description, and please, no empty text. So that's what I'm trying to address. If you send us texts that are clear, we can work with that, and we can even curate with that. And that's fine, that's really, really great. And if you don't know, tell us we don't know yet. And then we can have a conversation. But when we receive an empty text, we know you want to do the work, but you don't know what you're doing yet, and you're probably working on it. So it tells us that information, but it doesn't tell us that information directly. It's an indirect way of holding a place. So that's the problematic zone. If we can avoid that, we are all good. I think that's the message. And I think we are running out of time, because if you want to eat and still go for the tours, and you probably want to eat, I think we should wrap it up. I don't know if you want more questions or...
I'm fine, it's up to you. Or you can approach me somewhere else than on the stage if you have like other questions. But let's say like 2 more questions and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Hey, I have a question about the walls and the floor here. There were some like restrictions that not to attach to the walls nor the floor at all. Can you tell more about that?
Indoors, yes, you can't drill anything to the floor or to the walls. Outside, I think it's for the discussion. Maybe you can drill something and make like a... You can do something maybe on the floor, but we need to negotiate that.
But I can see there's some sort of wire. Is that for hanging anything or not? No.
Yeah, I think it's a steel wire. You can hang something on it. But it was here before us, so we didn't drill anything in there.
Okay. Thanks.
I mean, like you can use. I think even those stuff they install it so when you rent a venue you can use it, but you can't yourself drill or make anything with the wall. You can use what it's in here, I think.
Hi, my question is about the space for countries and regions. And I would like to know, I understand that the installation has to be within 4 per 5 meters. And I wonder if our neighbor starts just in the 5th meter. And if we want buffer between our installation and the installation of the neighbor, if you contemplate it or we have to contemplate it?
Sorry, I don't understand the question. Like if you...
Okay, wait, again, really easy. Imagine that we place a carpet in our 4 per 5 meters, and our neighbor also places a carpet. Are these carpets going to touch each other, or do you contemplate a space within, you know what I mean, or not?
Yeah, the carpets will be touching.
Okay, perfect, thanks.
No.
Okay, similar question. How do you think about descriptions? Like if the exhibition should include the description that it's like this country and the name and something, or would you prefer that, or it might be like with, no name, no logo, something like that? Like, how do you think about the, informing audience?
Okay, I think it will be same as in 2019. So there will be flex flex and descriptions on the floor, flex of your country or region. I think it will be the same.